YouTube, the final frontier. These are the live streams of the channel Captain McKay Random. Its continuing mission? To explore strange new action figures, to seek out new hobbies and new conversations, to boldly stream where no one has streamed before. Can't seem to... Never mind. Got it. Thought it was going to be a dire emergency just now. Couldn't find my bottle opener. Once again, welcome to the Captain's Log. It is Wednesday, as many of you have guessed. Here we are, once again, streaming at Vader time, no less. Already saw some people chatting away in the comments. Love seeing that. I told Bruce and Vince, do whatever you wanna do, bro. They told me they wanted to release Jeff Jarrett. Bro, I packed my bags and booked the first flight back to New York, bro. And he would have done too. Bash, I wanted to have better news for you this week, but I went looking for that Sweetwater IPA you were talking about last week, and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if they sell it by me, man. I was excited. So sadly, tonight I'll be having a Tropical Torpedo IPA. And these are pretty nice. I do like them. So yeah, that's consolation prize. I wanted to get back to you on the pineapple gimmick, but hey, you know, I do what I can. Dire Docs, Joseph Miga. You know, I caught myself saying that, and I was just like, I wonder if anybody's going to like call me out on that. Top 5 water level music, in my opinion, along with Aquatic Ambience from Donkey Kong Country, that one Castlevania Rondo of Blood level where you're on the boat, the Squid Guy from Mega Man X, and there's got to be one more. I can't think. Let's see. Kaimo Films, what's up? Godzilla 2019 came out. I saw that it had been released. I actually checked in Target today, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the pineapple IPA either. We've been Montreal'd. Yep, that's it. I was like, all right, you just put me in my own hold, and then we're going to work something out. And then the beer was just like running off with the championship, first thing I noticed. So that sucks, but hopefully, you know, at some point, maybe in the summer, they'll distribute it up here. But yeah, Kaimo. I also saw some new pictures of the Mothra that, you better believe I brought them with me here. Check this out. This is the NECA Mothra, and I'm actually really digging it. Comes to, I don't know if it comes with this base or if this is just something that they like threw in the picture, but it looks like the egg hatching and out comes Mothra, which, I mean, I would think that the larva would come out of the egg, but I guess this is full-grown Mothra here. But yeah, actually really digging the detail on that. I mean, that hinge could use a little paint on the wing, but I'm really not so mad about it. So, yeah, there's that. I'm hyped. Really hyped for the movie coming out, too. I did see one or two people, others. Joseph Miga, thoughts on AEW getting a TV deal? I just saw that today, too. I saw, was that you up earlier? Ted Turner's in the wrestling business? Yeah, that was you again. Okay. Yeah. Once again, like after, God, what? 21, 22 years? Chris Jericho will once again be wrestling on TNT. How's that make you feel? Me? Old. Logan Doughty wants Rodan and Mothra. Yeah, I'm definitely, like, I'm on board for all the NECA's figures. They all look really good. Crew of Gaming says, have I thought about a Captain McKay gaming channel? Not really, because I don't play enough games to make anybody want to watch it. Like, lately I've been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat, just because I really like it, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. But besides that, I don't play a ton of video games. So I don't know that anybody would really pay much attention to it, and I don't know that I would do it enough to warrant making a channel. Especially because my, the stop motion stuff takes a lot. And, it just takes a lot of time. So if I start doing other things, that's going to leave me with less time for stop motion. So, kind of too bad, but Apartment 9 Pokes and Kaimo. Yeah, well, I mean, Apartment 9 Pokes is, that's a side thing that me and my friend do, and he handles a lot of the YouTube stuff, so I actually don't do, now you got me thinking I probably should do a little more with that, because he handles a lot of it, but, that's just for fun. That doesn't so much take as much time from my stop motion stuff, because, to be honest, like, it's all stuff that I'm doing anyway. It's just now stuff that I'm doing with a camera on. I really want to hear Bischoff's thoughts on AEW on TNT. That's going to be something to hear what he has to say about that. Like, he probably is still upset that TNT was canceling Nitro. Let's see. Apologies for missing the last 3 live streams. Trevor Sis, no big deal. We're here every Wednesday, so if you can't make it, you can't make it. Come back next week, and we'll be doing it right. Let's see. Have I ever seen Being the Elite? Is that their podcast, or is that like behind the scenes like show they make? Because I've seen a little bits of that, mostly like what gets reposted on like Instagram. But I've very little of it. Oh wait, there he is, Baki. I saw you asked that. I had a chance to look that up. This is the one he's talking about, by the way, is the Storm Collectibles Scorpion. This guy. I paid like $60 for him, but on eBay right now he's going for like $250. So yeah, maybe just wait and see if he gets re-released. Because honestly, it's a great figure, but I'm not paying $250 for that. Let's see. Oh, speaking of what he's talking about there, earlier I uploaded a new diorama showcase video. I made this Goro's Lair for Mortal Kombat figures, and it's a short video. I shot a lot of stuff for that Between the Frames episode I've been working on, and I was like, nobody's gonna want to sit there for like 35 minutes and watch all this footage. It's kind of a mess. So I'm gonna do like smaller, shorter videos. So I do have a tour of the lab coming up at some point, hopefully by next week, and just 1 or 2 little side things about just different figures and things I've gotten over the past, since the last Between the Frames, which is quite long. Anyway, what did I do? Here we go. Swing a torpedo for the working man. Tom McGee versus Bret Hart. 5 stars. I haven't seen it yet. I did see that I guess the footage of the match got like unearthed. So what was the deal with Tom McGee exactly? Because I feel like I've heard this before, but he Vince thought he was going to be awesome, and then he turned out not to be awesome, but somehow because of Bret Hart managed to have a great match with the guy. Is that basically the story there? Let's see. Trevor Sisk is working on a Godzilla series if you're interested in watching it. Let me know when it's done. I'll check it out. Kaimo would totally watch 30 minutes in Between the Frames. Well, thank you. Predatorius Films, what's up? Adam Flynn, what's up? If you made your videos longer, I still watch them. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Baki's... Right now I've been trying to get some Dragon Stars figures. They're in my price range, 20 to 30, so yeah. I have Kaioken, Super Saiyan Goku, it's rad. Some of the Dragon Star figures looked okay, actually. I got a chance to look at some of the more recent ones. I like the Piccolo. I like the the Frieza, like the first form Frieza with the little like point things on his head. They look pretty cool. I was actually thinking about picking one of those up. The WWE mini documentary on the McGee Hart match is really good. It's only like a 20-minute watch, worth checking out. Nice. Okay, sweet. Speaking of documentaries, I still haven't watched that Dark Side of the Ring stuff yet. I've been slacking, I guess. Did you watch Detective Pikachu? Not yet. I will check it out probably. Maybe this weekend. I don't know. But, I mean, it's definitely one I'm going to probably enjoy when I watch. It's just a matter of finding time and figuring out when I want to go see it. Favorite MK stage? I've always been partial to... crap, I can't remember what the name of it is. The Sky Temple, I think, in MK2, where there's like the clouds whooshing by in the background as you're like fighting on the main stage. The Pit, obviously a classic. From the new game, I really like the arcade because they got like the arcade cabinets in the background that are like the old Mortal Kombat games. So that's just really cool to see. Is Dragon Stars Bandai America? I believe so. As far as I'm aware, yes. Let's see. Endgame was amazing. Yeah, I liked Endgame. I have to check it out again because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I missed when I watched it. But yeah, definitely just... I still don't think I fully processed the movie. It's awesome. Dan Aykroyd makes Crystal Head vodka, and I'm drinking it in a mule with Fever Tree ginger beer right now. That sounds oddly refreshing. I don't even like vodka, but all that presentation, that sounds really good. And I knew that he made the vodka. I forget what I was watching. I think it was like Red Letter Media, where they were talking about one of the Ghostbusters movies, probably the 2014 one or 2016, I think. And they were like, we have here Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Skull vodka, and we also have Ecto Cooler. So we're going to be making mixed drinks with these two things. So I was like, wow, that's like the most Ghostbusters drink I could ever think of. And, you know, I'd be curious, to say the least. Let's see. Basket Case 420, hi. Dragon Stars is Bandai. Okay. Tyler Russell says, are you interested in watching my TJW Raw show? It's like yours, but different. Decided to draw inspiration because you're awesome, too. You're awesome like my... Well, thank you. I'll check it out. Yeah, let me know when it's on YouTube. If you put it on YouTube. Does beer taste different in a bottle from a can? Yes, but it depends on... whether it's better or worse just kind of depends on your taste. And a lot of people will swear by one or the other. Me, like, I like them both, but some only come in bottles and some only come in cans, so you gotta just be on the lookout there. So earlier today, as I mentioned, I was at Target looking for that Godzilla figure and I didn't see it, but I did come across the new Elites. They had everybody except Kurt Angle, but I got to look at the AJ Styles and he looked really cool, actually. I was really almost about to buy him. But they had, what's her name? Nikki Cross and who's this guy? Alexander Wolf? Is that him? Is that his name? They had the two of them. They look pretty cool. I know nothing about them, so obviously I didn't buy them. But like, is that wave showing up for everybody? It's my Ecto Cooler and Crystal Head vodka. This idea makes me want to sell my soul to Vigo the Carpathian. If you get a hold of Ecto Cooler, because it was back on the market for a while there, it may still be for all I know. Check it out, and I'll look forward to a report back. Let's see. What was the name of how you put pyro in your stop motion? Are you talking about like where I downloaded the pyro from? Because Detonation Films is where I get a lot of like the effects and stuff. And then I just put them right in my Final Cut program. So whatever program you're running, there'll be a way that you can use those in your program, probably. But yeah, they have a lot of free samples that you can download and use those. So go for it. Go play with it. Reporting for duty, Captain. How's it going? WEW Wrestling. Going pretty good, man. Enjoying my Wednesday evening and just hanging with all you fine people. What did I see? Thoughts on DX versus Dolph Ziggler and Elijah Burke? Don't think I ever saw it, honestly. This can't have been recent, right? Because Elijah Burke is long gone, yeah? Latoya says, not to change the subject, but what age did I learn how to fight? I mean, 14? And it's not like you just wake up and know. It's you learn, you know. So, yeah, or I guess mid-teens is probably about right. And then by the end of my 20s, I was old, and so now I'm slow. And, you know, somebody hits me in the spine, I'll probably drop like a hammer. What is going on over there? Just got the cat in here. Give me 1 second. Not that the cat's a problem, but just the door out there. Gotten some bunch of stuff running in the kitchen, so I don't want like extra noise in the background. We have any chance for Vince Russo and or Brother Love Build-A-Figure? That's a good question. Russo, I would say, if Mattel's actually serious about these, I'd say Russo probably not, but Brother Love, I don't see why not, especially since Pritchard's back on their payroll, right? Have I seen Breakthrough? I don't know what that is. So I'm going to go with no. Justin M., what's up? Another thing I saw, actually, earlier today was Storm Collectibles, one of my faves. They're repainting those exclusive Ken and Ryu from Ultra Street Fighter into their standard colors. So as you recall, they did a Violent Ken and an Evil Ryu, but they went ahead and just made the regular versions now. So I'm hype. I'm really a big fan of this Ken figure, and definitely hoping that it's, you know, something that's going to be in my price range when it comes out. They said August, I believe, and they also showed this Guile, but I don't know when he's coming out, but he looks awesome. Like, I can't wait. And I have showed the Sagat figure on this stream a while back, so definitely cool stuff coming out from Storm, as always. Let's see. I'm going to make DX versus Dolph Ziggler and Elijah Burke. Oh, so you... Gotcha. All right. Go for it. Have fun. I thought you had ghosts when I see the door opening by itself. Not in this apartment. In previous apartments, I'm not entirely convinced that I didn't, but try to hit me with the RKO out of nowhere. Yeah. Try a little harder. Let's see. What did I just... I scrolled by something. Oh, it was Adam Flynn. Another Wonder Woman movie called Wonder Woman 1984. When is that coming out? Because that, I've heard that they're making it, and those DC comics, like the movies, are all over the place. Like, the only one I know for sure when it's coming out is Joker, and that's just because the trailer says like October. So I know that's happening later this year, but I know there's supposed to be was it the Wonder Woman 1984? It's supposed to be some new Suicide Squad movie that I have no idea when that's coming. All kinds of stuff. Have I seen Endgame? Oh yeah, Moped Central. Dude, be awesome. Let's see. Earthworm Jim confirmed as one of the 20 games announced for Mini Classics. Oh, it gets better and better. Earthworm Jim, what a throwback. I used to like that game. That one I used to rent, along with, there was like one or two Ren and Stimpy games that I used to rent every now and again as a kid, and those would be like my weekend, just like mess around with these video games. Good stuff. Do you think we'll ever get a Hellboy NECA figure? I doubt it. I think, was it 1000 Toys just released their Hellboy figure? Mezco's got one coming up that tied in with the recent movie. All of Mezco's like old Hellboy figures are still on the market. Well, they're not. You can't just walk into a toy store and buy them, but if you, like, a comic shop might still have some of the old ones. Yeah, I doubt NECA really does anything like that. Let's see. Basket case. Are you going to see Dark Phoenix? I know you love X-Men. Yeah, and I'm going to see it, Dark Sansa, but I'm not convinced I'm going to love it because I remember seeing Apocalypse in the theaters, and granted, I had a lot of fun watching it because it was so ridiculous, but wouldn't call it a good movie. So, you know, hey, I'll go check it out, though. I think it was supposed to be November, but I'm not sure. Oh, the Wonder Woman? I did see, what did I say? New and improved Joker products! Still one of my favorite things. I on my Instagram the other morning, I posted a picture from that scene in the movie of like the news anchor like laying on the floor with a big smile, because we had a new manager start at work, a new building manager. So like she starts the day all cheerful and coming and saying hi to everybody, big smile on her face, and I'm just thinking like, I haven't even had coffee yet. I can't, like, this place is either going to destroy this poor lady or she's gonna, yeah, there we go again. Or, like, she's going to just learn to just tone it down a little bit early in the morning. Storm Collectibles being a mile better than Mattel. Yeah, I mean those are nice looking figures. But then again, Mattel figures are like $21, and Storms are usually like 50 or 60. I want a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton as old ass Bruce Wayne and a cameo from Will Ferrell. That movie wrote itself, and that was a long time too. Like people have been saying, like, just get Michael Keaton back, have him play Bruce Wayne, and just he doesn't have to do anything. He can just sit there. Could be, I don't know, like I think it could work. It would just have to figure out how they wanted to make the villain, who they wanted it to be, and I don't know. I can't remember many of the villains off Batman Beyond. I remember Ink. She was like just a big blob of black like goo. It's really hard to find low-priced MK figures. Yeah, you basically have to get them when they're new, because as soon as you miss them, they start going up in price. It's crazy. Tyler says, do you think I can make a group of friends at school and call ourselves D-Generation X? Do you think it's possible? I think it's possible to do. I don't necessarily think it's like a cool thing to do, but that's, you know, if you and your friends want to do it, go for it. Is it weird that I prefer Wonder Woman over Thor, despite Thor being more powerful? I'm actually not entirely sure Thor is more powerful. If you're going by the movies, I think he is, but Wonder Woman in the comics is like next level. Like she's basically... Yeah, well, she's not as like strong as Superman, but she has beaten Superman in fights like a lot, because unlike Superman, Wonder Woman is like actually a trained like combatant and like expert fighter, whereas Superman, basically his fighting is like just, I'm stronger than you, so I'm gonna like push you through buildings and stuff. My face on the $1 bill. How much is your job like the Office TV show? I'm convinced that I could make a documentary in a similar vein and have many of the same themes. Like the distribution center lends itself to a lot of ridicule, much of it coming from me. But you know what? One of these nights on the stream, I'm going to have to show the documentary I made of my old job leading into Black Friday, working the retail gig. Because that, I mean, needs to be seen to be believed, I dare say. This is how we're going to close the door. Look at that. Ingenuity. We're smart here on the log. Never rub another man's rhubarb. Let's see. Don't forget Blight. Oh, yes, Blight. All right. See, most of my Batman Beyond memories are like pretty sketchy because I only saw a few episodes of the show as it was airing. I went back and watched some of it later on, along with the Return of the Joker movie, which was really good. Let's see. I did see somebody ask, where are you? There you are. Crew of Gaming. Have I gotten any title belts from Laz Smith? I have a pair of tag team championships that I got from him. And they're cool, man. It's like, it's interesting to see like the thin leather and the actual like metal on the belts that size. And it gives you a lot of options. So like you can actually have a belt over a guy's shoulder and have the strap hanging and not have it look like it's like curved up over his whole like body, because of the way the Mattel ones like always kind of, they like stay in a certain shape, you know? Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis? That's almost such an unfair question. I don't know. They both had so many awesome games. This town needs an enema. Coming out in 2020, Wonder Woman 1984. Oh, okay. Baki reuse. Well, the Plastic Love video is back. Let's go. Most underrated Faith No More song. My pick is Midlife Crisis. It's a great song. I thought that was like one of their more well-known ones. Like maybe it's. Well, I mean, then again, I never heard it like on like the radio. Every now and then I'll hear like Epic on the radio, and that seems to be the only thing they touch. Most underrated. It's gonna be a tough. One that I've always liked is A Small Victory. I've always thought that song is like, it's really catchy and it's upbeat and it's fun. Oh God, what's the one off the next album? Evidence, another good one. That's like more of like a bass driven kind of like weird like waka waka guitar type thing. Awesome song though, as always. I'm waiting for 4 of them right now from Last Smith. WEW, what'd you order? When I played SmackDown 2, did I like the grapple system? I didn't. I didn't like the grapple system because it's mixed with the Irish Whip. I didn't play SmackDown too much. I think I only played it maybe once. I didn't pick up on the SmackDown games until 4 because I didn't really play many video games after N64. I mean, I had a GameCube, but I didn't really play a ton of games on it. But my sister got a PS2, and so I was like, well, let me buy one of these new SmackDown games, and that's when I started. From Out of Nowhere. It's another good one. Nice. Joseph Miga, yeah, another great song. Let's see. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence? Yeah, cue the Prince, knocking down the museum stuff. Minecraft is the best video game of all time. Fight me. I will fight you, but only in Mortal Kombat, because that might be the best video game of all time. Nah, just kidding. I don't know what the best video game of all time is. There are... I mean, it depends on what you like, honestly. I think overall, you know, you can make an argument for, like, Super Mario 3 or Donkey Kong Country for, like, best platformers. Best first-person shooter. A lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions on that. Excuse me. Mine's going to be Doom, obviously. The newest one. SmackDown 4. Yeah, whichever one that was. That was... Was that Shut Your Mouth? It was either Shut Your Mouth or Know Your Role. I couldn't remember. And then 5, I think, was Here Comes the Pain. And that's the one that everybody had, I think, the most fun with. Baki says, for real, I think maybe Mario 64 or the original Zelda. Mario 64 is really good. Mario 64 is a lot of fun. It was Shut Your Mouth. Oh, okay, cool. Perfect Dark soundtrack is 10 out of 10. Agreed, 100%. Carrington Institute is like, you could just listen to that and it's so mellow and so good. And then like when you get to the Datadyne building and it's like and it starts like I'm like, oh, I'm in for some good stuff. Shooting people. Custom heavyweight, custom intercontinental, and custom tag team belts. Nice, man. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, I mean, Last Smith is a talented dude. I love his channel. I like, a lot of the different stuff he does is like, it's really fresh and really different from what a lot of other people are doing. Plus, he's always trying to push himself, too. Like, so this whole custom belt thing he's got going on, like, he seems like he's doing pretty well with them, so good. Let's see. GoldenEye is a really great first-person shooter. That was my favorite for a long time. I mean, I've tried to play it again recently, and sadly, it's one of those games that is really, really hurt by its age and kind of the controls. Let's see. My favorite shooting dead effect in San Andreas, if you caught that. Oh, my favorite shooters. Okay. Dead effect in San Andreas. Gotcha. Rare was the shit in the late 90s. Oh, yeah. 100%. Rare, I believe, yeah, they were Perfect Dark, right? And, like, Donkey Kong Country, like, the whole series I remember being really good. I didn't have the third one. I had 1 and 2, and I still got them somewhere. That would be, you know what? It'd be fun to stream video games again at some point, just like, because I used to, before I moved to this apartment, this is like a year ago now, but I would stream the occasional video game on Sundays, back when I had more free time on Sundays. And one of the ones I always wanted to do was Donkey Kong Country 2, and just never got around to it. I played GoldenEye with a friend a few weeks ago and got my ass kicked. Nice. I mean, not that you got your ass kicked, but yeah, just the love for GoldenEye still exists. Me and my friend used to play, it was first to 5, best of 5. It was pistols on License to Kill. And, like, it was a random level. So, like, you just had to, like, shuffle through the levels really fast and then just hit start really quick. But we would do those, like, stipulations, and whoever wins, whoever won got to take home the title, which was, like, this cardboard thing that we covered with, like, duct tape and pictures of all the different things in GoldenEye, and that was just, we would just have it. That would be, like, that meant I was the champion of GoldenEye and all that. So that went on for quite a while. It was good times though, good memories. And nobody could pick Odd Job because no, you weren't. You were disqualified from the title contender picture if you picked him. Let's see. I did my Survivor Series pay-per-view with my action figures. Nice. I went to Kmart, saw Mark Henry Elite Series 32. Nice. Good old Kmart. Cap, do you remember Quake? That was a cool shooting game. I had Quake 2. I didn't have the original one, but I played Quake 2 a lot, and I played Quake Arena, I think, was like the big... It was like one of the first times I think I can remember playing like against a ton of other people all at once. It was really cool for the time. Swig a beer for the working man here. My favorite shooter game is Shoot T-Series. I don't think I know what that is. Bash says, what's good in Albany? Never been there. Been to NYC and pimped through Buffalo several times on my way to Canada, but never stopped. Albany is, I mean, there's enough going on, and there's enough not going on. It's a good blend of, like, New York City and, like, somewhere really rural where, you know, you drive, like, miles and miles before you see anything remotely resembling, like, a civilization. I'm happy with it because I don't need to be, like, going outside into a huge crowd every day. That's not what I'm after, so that's kind of what's always kept me out of New York City. But as far as for, like, there's different stuff to do. I mean, it just might be, like, farther between than a more populated area. But, I mean, I don't know. I dig the scene. There's, like, strips of, like, restaurants and bars. There's, like, some local craft places. There's, like, the chains. There's, yeah, you know, a decent selection of big, like, major stores and, like, smaller places, like, independent, like, figure stores and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I ain't mad at it. I like it here. T-Series is a channel that is trying to take the YouTube sub crown from PewDiePie. It's a meme. Oh, okay. Nice. I pay no attention, I guess. I'm way out of touch. Let's see. Which game is better, Quake or GoldenEye? Kind of depends on what you like. GoldenEye, you have to be a little bit more precise. Like, you can't just... excuse me. You can't just run into a battle and, like... I mean, you might be able to, but you're meant to be, like, a little bit more stealthy in GoldenEye. Quake, I mean, I think is just more, you know, just run and gun and kill the monsters kind of thing. I like Duke Nukem 3D, too, when I was a kid. I remember that one being fun. Machine Dragon Nero. What are your thoughts on Halo? I only played a little bit of Halo. It was fun. I played a little more of Halo 2 because my first year of going away to college, that's when, like, a couple people in the surrounding rooms had Xboxes, and they all had Halo 2. So it would become, like, a huge multiplayer thing. We would, at the time, it was all LAN, so we'd run the cable under the door and, you know, between the two rooms and, like, tape it down on the floor so people didn't, like, trip over it. And, you know, be, like, me and my friend in his room, and then my roommate and our other buddy in, you know, in our room over there. And it would just be the two of us against the two of them playing Halo and just eating pizza and stuff. So Halo 2 was a lot of fun. Upstate is so much different than NYC and Long Island. Yeah, I mean, you can take it or leave it. You know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but there's some parts of it are just way too rural for me. There's, like, too much flat land. Like, literally on my way home, if I was to go to my hometown, it's entirely possible that I might get stuck on the main road, the one main road, behind, like, a tractor pulling a flatbed, going, like, 15 miles an hour. That happens, and it's frustrating, and it's terrible. What's the difference between Perfect Dark and GoldenEye? It's, Perfect Dark is it's not a sequel, but it's I think they call them spiritual successors, meaning that it's very much the same, but they went in a different direction with some of the things that they were doing. So Perfect Dark is you're a spy, but your setting is in the future, and there's aliens and different technology and stuff going on. But gameplay-wise, it's very, very similar to GoldenEye. So it's one of those things where, like, if you're good at GoldenEye, you'll probably like Perfect Dark because it's the same kind of thing. That said, Perfect Dark is a much bigger game, and it's, I think, a much more broad multiplayer. I have never played a Halo or Pokemon game, says Bash. I've played only a select few Pokemon games. I played like Pokemon Blue when it came out, and then I played like one of the 3D ones like 5 years ago. It was like X or Y, I don't remember. But honestly, Pokemon is one of those things where like if you played one game, they're all basically the same. It's just you get different Pokemon in it. They're fun, but it's a little too grindy for me. I prefer the card game. I'm just more into like that speed, I guess. It's all dirt roads. No, they're paved, like they're main roads, but they're just like the people on them are dirt. If you know what I mean. Actually, where my mom moved to is like about 15 miles from the town I grew up in, and this will give you a good example of what goes on there. It's a dry county, which means you can't buy beer or alcohol of any kind anywhere in the town. And it's not a huge town, but, you could go to the next town and get beer. The problem is the next town is like 15 miles away. So most people up there just bootleg their own beer. Honestly, some of the best stouts I've ever had have come from the basements of these old guys who just have figured out over years and years how to brew awesome beer. And, it sounds weird to say, but I'm just like, hey, this guy's crap coming out of his basement is actually really good. And he'll give it to you for doing some work around his house. So, kind of a win-win. Let's see. Oh, and Joseph Miga, yeah. Very, very, oh, there you are. Very astute observation. GoldenEye is a James Bond game because it was based on the movie. So, yeah. Very true. Can't believe I forgot to mention that. I guess it's one of those things that I just take for granted that like everybody knows, but then again, I'm old, so everybody might not. Let's see. Pokemon Stadium for 64 is legendary. Okay, well there's an exception. Yeah, Stadium and the games like that, not the main Pokemon games, but like, something like Stadium or even Snap, they're different. They have kind of more unique things going on with them. When Thanos snapped, I saw that most of your toys disappeared from JWF. That's why it's the end of JWF Phase 1. And that's why, when JWF comes back, it might only be half the roster. That's not true. But I cannot believe dry counties still exist in 2019. We have dry counties here in Ohio also. Most of them are in Amish country, though. Yeah, this is... I mean, it's not Amish, but this town is... It's very... It's strange. It's like a very small... fairly religious conservative town, but yet everybody in their own comfort of their own home is like just basically just breaking the law. I mean, it's not against the law to brew beer, it's just buy it. But I'm like, if you want beer that bad, why don't you guys change just change it. It's been this way for however many years. You're allowed to fix it if you think it's broken. But I digress. It's just what these people want. They have lived that way for so long, they're not gonna I can't fault them. Again, like I said, they're making good stuff. So, hey, who am I to complain? What 3D shooting game did I say I liked as a kid? As a kid, GoldenEye. That was the one I liked the best. Baki says, if I saw you at a Walmart or something, I would scream my head off. There was actually a kid screaming his head off at Target today, and I just walked away from him. I don't know what his deal was, but he wasn't able to buy some thing that his mom said he couldn't have or something, so... Yeah, people scream all the time in those stores. Have I seen the box design for the new SH Monster Arts 2019 figures? I think so. It was, they look similar, except they have like a square cut out for the window now. It's not like the slash marks. I can dig it. I think it's pretty cool. I like that they're actually showing the figure again, because as I recall, the last few boxes I have are just plain boxes. Like, they don't have the windows. So, it's good to be able to see it again. Let's see. How's it going? X and X. Triple X. Well, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it's not bad, man. We're hanging. We're having a good time. Is there an Owen Hart figure or a Blue Blazer figure? WEW Wrestling, yes. The only figures I could think of are bone crunching action figures. Owen Hart might have had a Hasbro too. I think he may have, but we're talking like old school. I had the bone crunching ones. There was one that came out early that was in his black and pink gear with his long hair. I didn't have that one, but I did have. There was a later one that came in a 2-pack with The Rock with his black and yellow, like Danger gear that he wore, and then there was one that had like his Black Heart gear. So those are cool. And then there was a Blue Blazer figure that was released like right around the time that Owen died. So like that one I think got pulled from the market maybe, or it was just really hard to find. I can't remember. I see it every now and then because I have a local place that sells a lot of wrestling figures, including like some old school stuff. So yeah, every now and then they'll get a Blue Blazer figure in there, and it's like, oh wow, okay. It's kind of cool seeing bone crunching action figures like for sale in 2019. I don't know, just something to nerd out over. Did I play Soul Reaver on PS1? Was that Legacy of Kain? I never did. Like I said, I didn't really play PlayStation until PS2. I found the bone crunching Blue Blazer at a flea market, and I left it mint on card forever. Literally the only figure I ever kept in the package. Yeah, honestly, it looks awesome in the package with the way they packaged it with the cape and everything too. Like, sometimes Jakks would go all out, and like that one was one of the examples. Like, it had that awesome cape that came with it. Like, they weren't doing that for every figure at the time. Every now and then, though, Jakks, like for the bone crunching, you'd get like the cloth shirts with the Velcro on the back, like that, was it the Stone Cold box set? There's like 3 different Austin figures, and they had 3 different cloth shirts, or one of them had like a vest or something. I was like, all right, this is cool. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Yeah, that was, he wore that black and yellow gear a lot. I think that's when he was in the Nation he was saying that. Who are my current favorite animators? Let's see. I take it you're talking about like YouTube guys. All time, I love Last Smith. I love Burnout Inc. I love DGDX. I love Matt Goldberg, even though he doesn't animate anymore. Chino Moreno. Let me think. There's a lot of guys doing a lot of cool stuff, and I kind of feel bad that I can't remember everybody's name off the top of my head, but I do watch a lot of channels, and you know, I like a lot of it. Who are my... Oh, I just read that. Okay. Huh. I've never seen one. Yeah, I mean, they haven't had one on the market since probably 1999, because that's when WWE stopped being able to sell merchandise based on Owen because of, like, his wife didn't want any part of that company anymore, so there was that. Do you remember the Best of 97 Bone Crunching series that had Brett, Bulldog, and Owen with the Hart Foundation vests? I never found them in stores, but my neighbor friend had the Bulldog, and I was jelly. I never saw them. At that time, I wasn't collecting wrestling figures. Like, I didn't start on until, like, the following year. So the only Brett I had was the Slammers one, because that was the only one you could find at the time. Luckily for me, like, you know, I was determined to fill out my Warzone roster, like, based on the N64 game I had. So I was like, oh, I need Bret Hart, but I know he's not on wrestling or not on WWF anymore. But because Jakks distributed figures so slowly, I could still go find the Slammers figure, like, pretty much anywhere. So I was able to get him. And, you know, same with, like, Goldust and Farouk and Mankind and all those guys. No love for Steve-O? He was awesome. I forgot about him, but yeah, he's definitely... He was good. I liked him. Lil Zaus won. He's a great animator, I think. He's the one that does, like, the Spider-Man, right? If I'm thinking of the same guy. What was I going to say? But yeah, no, there was, like, Bret Hart. I think the rarest Bret Hart bone crunching figure I got is the one from... I can't remember if it's, like, the Raw's War or the Survivor Series box, but it's, like... the one without sunglasses, and he has, like, the splatter designs on his, like, gear. That one was cool. I finally did track down a bunch of these bone-crunching Bret Hart figures, like, years later. And the one I still never got was the Tag Team 2-pack, the one that's in all pink. Don't have that one. William Rush, loved your video from today. Oh, thank you. Glad you checked it out. I just bought a Jack's Ken Shamrock for $3. Had a $15 price tag. Damn. Was it a bone crunching one, or was it one of the the classic Superstars one? Because honestly, the classic Superstars one's not bad. It has a giant head, but you know. Joseph Miga. I remember there was a WCW Brett figure that was a gangster and came with a fedora and Tommy gun. It was the same figure, but it was just painted in his regular black Hitman gear. But I did have that. And that was cool because it was one of the only Brett figures I can remember that had the circular sunglasses that he wore in WCW. So, yeah, I picked that up. I look like Nick Jackson. Yeah, I've heard that. That's, the Young Bucks are my brothers after all. I'm the old buck, Captain McKay. I grew up with Steve-O and SCW. Oh, well, while we're talking, JWS, another good guy. Matter of fact, he's the guy that's animating the videos for WWE right now. So when you see figure animations on WWE's main channel, that's him. So it's good to see somebody I remember doing that. Excuse me. I ate dinner right before I started streaming, and then I haven't stopped talking since. So I'm probably messing with my digestion. Bash almost bought a 12-pack of PBR the other day. It was on sale at my local grocery store. Didn't pull the trigger, though. Still never tried it. I was about to say you're missing out, but that's not necessarily true. It's a good, cheap beer. If you don't want to spend a ton of money and you want to just drink something that doesn't taste like water, PBR is a good one. That said, I'd say start with a 6. You can get them in the gas station for $6 around me anyway, and you get the 16-ounce cans too. So if you hate it, you only spent $6. That's not a big deal. If it was illegal to have action figures, what would you do? I'd probably go to jail if a copy ever showed up. But yeah, I don't know. Baki says I might be pre-ordering the new Marvel Legends Far From Home Spider-Man figure. I just saw a picture of that. I guess it's actually starting to hit already, which is crazy because I feel like the X-Men wave hasn't even hit around me yet, and I still haven't seen the damn Professor X in his wheelchair either, his hover gold chair. No, I take it back. I saw it once behind the counter at GameStop, and I asked the guy if somebody had reserved that, and he said yes. The guy was really cool though. The guy, he's like, let me pick up the phone right now and call him and see if he's going to come in, because if he doesn't come in, then you could just buy it right now. But unfortunately, the guy was actually, he was on his way to come in, right when the guy called. So, sadly, no Professor X for me yet. But a friend of mine did find one locally, so I'll keep my eyes out. Let's see. We go over this every week. Cap doesn't look like the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks look like Cap. Yes, yes. Oh, okay. I grew up with Loser Kings. LKS is a good one, man. Definitely. He's one of the things he actually did that was really cool was he was I think he did a string tutorial. I believe that was him. So a bunch of people ask oh, how do you do certain things with animation? They want to start their own videos or something like that. And LKS made it very easy for me to just be go to his channel, watch his tutorials, because he basically explains it in a much better way than I ever could. So yeah, Loser Kings is awesome. It was his birthday recently, I think, too, if I remember my Facebook correctly. Let's see. They also made Chris Jericho that came with a whip and a little lion. I remember that one, yeah. It was like a cat with a lion mane on it. Bash had the WCW Gangster Brett and Lion Tamer Jericho figures. By the way, the WCW Wrath figure is super underrated. Was that one of the later ones? Because I remember there was a series of WCW figures that I've only seen once. It was Vampiro with strings for his actual hair. There was some of the really late era WCW guys. I'm trying to think. Some of the ones I had some of the early ones from series 1. So I had Hogan and Savage, Nash. I had DDP with the hands that did this. I had Sting that did the Wolfpack Stinger Splash thing. I wound up getting some of the box sets they would make. So I had a DDP that was actually in his wrestling gear. So he was his whole upper body, he had no shirt, and he still did this, but at least he looked like he was ready to wrestle. Scott Steiner in his like white, and I think I had two versions. I had a black singlet and a white one, and one had like the Superman logo on it. It came with like Michael Buffer or Mean Gene or somebody like that. I know I had both of them. I had Canyon, I had Booker T. Yeah, I had a couple of those WCW figures. Let's see. Adam Flynn found Flash Funk, Jack's action figures, flea market. It's kind of... I wonder, have they made a Flash Funk since then? He didn't have a Classic Superstars figure that I remember. Let's see. Miles, what's up? What's up? Just hanging here, man. We're hanging for another 10 minutes or so. Welcome. Tyler Russell, you skipped my challenge to JWF. I didn't see you challenge JWF. But, I mean, I did say that JWF is kind of on hiatus right now. I'm doing some different things, so... Yeah, I can't do much for you. Machine Dragon Nero, looking at getting War Machine and the Black Panther's sister. Her name's on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot remember it. And that new Rescue figure from Marvel Legends. I can't wait to get it. You're thinking of Shuri. And that War Machine looks cool. I'm still happy with my Iron Man 2 movie War Machine. I really like that figure. But the Shuri looks nice. And Rescue is cool. Like, I'm glad to see that. The Gangster Bret Hart actually has a really cool singlet. I agree, yeah. And I've seen a little bit of MDT. I don't watch pick federations really, but I follow him on Instagram, and he does awesome stuff. I know that, so I'm happy to see he's like getting a good following too. So, hey, you know, even though I don't watch him, I started out with JWF as a picture federation all those years ago. So, the fact that people are still doing that, that's great. Yeah, the later WCW Wrath and Mike Awesome figures were really good for the time. Nice. Okay. Yeah, like I'm trying to think. Because there were those box sets I was getting, and I think I was getting them from like KB because they were super cheap. But one definitely had Michael Buffer in it. And, you know what? I got to go to my dad's house and just dig through the basement because there's a lot of stuff down there, and I know a bunch of them is wrestling figure related. Like I probably still have like old rings and pieces of like the old cage and stuff like that. Maybe the monster ring might even be down there. That'd be cool. Yeah, WCW figures. Yeah, I definitely remember like Canyon and like some of the other ones I had. Let's see. Did I have any of the the figures in the combat gear or the scuba gear? Are you thinking of Stomp, the Stomp series? Yeah, I had The Rock from Stomp Series 2, but it was terrible because, first of all, that whole idea is ridiculous. Second of all, oh, by the way, there's an Owen Hart Stomp figure, too, in case anybody was keeping track. But second of all, The Rock was painted in, like, white flesh tone. So, like, basically The Rock, except my skin color. I was like, The Rock, he's nowhere near my skin color, but... He had a armor and like a gun and little flippers you could put on him. So, you know, whatever, Jax. But I remember seeing those. There was like ones in space too. I think there's like earlier ones had like Brian Pillman with like combat gear, and I think China had a figure. Like it was crazy. Jax was all over the place, man. Maximum Sweat. Don't get me started. Which animated match took me the longest? From start to finish, I don't really know, actually. That's a good question. Probably one of the recent ones, like one of the ones for Rite of Passage. Because there's just a lot more stuff I was trying to do in those matches. I guess I could say maybe Rock Undertaker from Collision was another long one. Did I play Hybrid Haven for Nintendo 64? I don't think so. Baki, see you next week. Let's see. What are 5 favorite wrestling themes? Okay, wow. Most of these are going to be old school. But, like, you know, Brett's, Undertaker's, like, his classic one. Like, the one... They've redone it, and that's the one he's still using today when he shows up. But, you know, that theme in general. Love it. Austin's has got to be up there. His main, like his standard one, not like the Disturbed one. And I'm talking about either version of Austin's. Like, he had his earlier one with the police sirens and kind of the more aggressive drums, and then he had the one that would kind of become more like the one that would last forever. I was actually thinking about themes the other day, actually. On what was it? There was something on about Triple H's My Time theme, where like on TV it would say like, "You don't know what trouble is," but on the Music Volume 4 it would say like, "Yeah, just kicking it up here." I was like, why are they different? Well, like, is one an earlier version? And like, I don't know. It just, to this day, confuses me. Do I think I could make Avenger Endgame stop motion? You already have most of the toys missing. I mean, I could make people disappearing, because there's a lot of figures I don't have, especially movie figures. I'm not a big movie figure collector, if I can help it, honestly. I like the comic book versions. RIP to KB, TRU, Babbage's, Coconuts, and Electronics Boutique, Gadzooks, Radio Shack, and Sam Goody. Sam Goody, that's one I haven't thought about in a long time. I used to get the occasional WWF videotape there. What did I get? Because Stone Cold Said So, I think I bought there as a kid. Yeah, I believe that was it. Because they, previously, they only had like the Coliseum stuff in there. And that was like, that was fine for what it was. But, the Stone Cold one, I was like, that I gotta get. What was so ridiculous about the Maximum Sweat figures? Well, they looked awful. If you get, after a few minutes, we're going to wrap up, and then after that, you can Google them. Just take a look, because they are god-awful. But you put water in their back, and then you press a little tube thing, and they would just sweat. And I'm like, who wants to play with wet action figures? Like, I'm going to mess up my ring, and my ropes and everything is going to get all... terrible. If you don't get hyped to the Ultimate Warrior theme, you might be dead inside. Another good old school one, yeah. The Boss Man's theme. Both of them, the old school like Babyface theme, but I'm thinking of like the... I'm like, oh, that guy's coming out and he's not going to be pleased with anybody. Undertaker's 1998 theme. Yeah, Music Volume 3. I was so happy to have that on... like in good quality, because back in the day, we had to download like MP3s of like live themes, and it wasn't always good. I remember though, Music Volume 3 broke my heart, because on the commercial they played The Rock's corporate theme, which was his current one at the time, and then when I got it, I put it on, and it was the one he had just before he had that theme. It was the one like from SummerSlam 98 that he used up until the corporate theme, which was basically the Nation theme, but just, I was like, they got me. And, the rest of the CD was great. You had Val Venus and the Outlaws and DX, and Dude Love for some reason was on there again. But Edge's theme? Come on. Awesome. But The Rock, man, that was the one I wanted. Wasn't meant to be. Let's see. Tyler Russell, want me to make him a stage? What's your budget? They're also really bulky and stylized, and dookie. Yes, Maximum Sweat figures for all of the above. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking, or if you smell what The Rock? It was Do You Smell for Volume 3. But when he changed over to the If You Smell one, that wound up on Volume 4, and that was current at the time, so I was cool with that. I was happy with that. Matter of fact, Volume 4 might have been my favorite one, because it had The Undertaker's Ministry theme. It had My Time, Triple H's theme. It had The Rock's, had Jericho's. Was that Big Show? I think Big Show was on that one too. There were some good ones. They had some terrible, like, Stone Cold. It wasn't like a theme music. It was just like one of the ones they might have used in one of his tribute videos, but it wasn't like a classic thing. Like when they put on the You Start the Fire in Me on the Volume 2 for Bret Hart. Like, that had actually been used on TV and was like in a bunch of different things. I don't know what was up with that. Oh god, I can't remember the name of it now. It's like Oh Hell Yeah, probably. Do you smell? Oh yeah, okay, I just read that. Let's see, which do I prefer? Oh, I prefer the Do You Smell one because that was my favorite one, and that's why when I redid the Rock's theme for JWF, that's what I went with. Oh hell yeah! By the H Blocks, that was it. That's right. Yep. God, terrible. Volume 5 was no slouch either. It had a lot of like mid card themes, which was really cool for the time. So I had like Taz and Raven, Christian, or was Christian Volume 4? I can't remember. But whichever one had that Christian theme song was incredible. Like the one that he might have only used on like Jacked or something, but like because most of the times he used Edge's music. I think we might have even talked about this before, but even in the video games, he didn't have his own song. He just used Edge's music. So I was like, man, I don't know what this theme music is, but it's awesome. I love it. We'll wrap up in a minute or two here. Let's see. I've actually coming into the recent possession of an Ultimate Warrior figure in the red, white, and blue. Is that the basic one? Because that looked pretty cool. I did like that one. The Rock never came out to his pie theme. Oh God, I forgot that was released to the public. They always had put one of those stupid garbage theme songs on there. Even the anthology one, like they had one or two that like had no purpose being on there. Although anthology did have the corporate ministry theme, even though it was on the new generation disc, which was weird. Yeah, I was like, well, all right. They finally gave us Mankind's proper theme too, where he was not like narrating over it. That's the one thing I would change about Music Volume 2 is I would just not have so much voiceovers over the themes. Like, thankfully, Vader's theme remained untouched and in crystal clarity for us all to enjoy. Let's see. Your reaction when Jericho made WWF debut for the first time. I remember being like, oh, awesome, I know who this guy is. But then being mad, I'm like, oh, he's out there interrupting The Rock, who was my favorite at the time. But then that didn't really go anywhere, and it took me a while to get on board with Jericho. But eventually I was like, you know what, this guy's awesome. I love him. So I'm going to keep being his fan, and I'm going to keep watching him. So it took a little while, but I do remember the night he debuted. Anthology had the most badass Kurt Angle theme ever that he used like once. That was the electric guitar one? Is that the one I'm thinking of? I don't even remember when he used it, because I know he had like... In ECW, I know he had a different theme, but that was way later. Anthology also had the Owen Hart theme, right? It was the... Which, in my opinion, is the worst of his two themes. Like, the Rocket theme that he had prior to that was awesome. But, you know, I can't be mad at his later theme. Well, that said, I think it's time to call it a night. We've had a good time. If you just can't get enough of the Captain and you want to watch more, I did put up a video earlier tonight just showing a diorama that I made, and I will be working on some Between the Frames in the next, hopefully by next week there will be another one up, so, keep your eyes open. And as always, we'll be back here, same Captain channel, same Vader time, and we will catch you later. Peace.